Welcome to the chaos sector. We will address the previous episode in a moment, but there is something important to point out. Please do not take content and share it with anyone in some legal, lawful capacity. Do not email anything to the defense, the family members, anyone involved in this murder case. If we wanted it to be given to them, we would just send it. You are acting on our behalf, and surely you don't believe we need that. It's irresponsible to do that. We provide our analysis of the case, and that's all. Sharing content amongst each other is common. In general, but involving a murder investigation, you do not take the content of others and send it to the families, the FBI, law enforcement, the prosecution, or the defense. We've examined enough to know Kohberger has been framed. And trust me, and Taylor knows this as well. Everything will come out in court, don't worry. Now, let's address once again. Many have made comments such as, quote, "You were on the right track, but once you accepted as a source of information, you lost all credibility," unquote. So, we were on the right track, breaking down the case, and with one episode, we lost all credibility? Doesn't seem this person actually felt we were on the right track to begin with, rather, another example of damage control. Has been debunked this, has been debunked that, but please tell everyone, who is the source of debunking her? Show us proof that she is lying. If your source is from someone just claiming she's lying, that's not proof, that is an opinion. Accounts are not her opinion, it's what she experienced. Here's something to ponder: those who speak out, that have specific details regarding those murders, are discredited. Yet, isn't this what everyone wants to know? Who murdered those housemates? What may have been the cause? Who was involved? Think about this deeper, because I feel people are squirming around, scared the truth will come out. If WSU Kim and are just making things up, don't you realize this is basically spitting on the graves of the housemates? Publicly doing this? Have they been harassed for lying? Publicly? They would be lying, just to get attention, right? Now take that same malicious character of WSU Kim and think about why they would do that. Instead of investigating the murder case, people are investigating those individuals. How about you take that same microscope used on them to find some type of inconsistency and apply it to the case? You'll end up where we are. And no offense to anyone on TikTok, but that's not where you should be getting your source of information. Someone jumps in front of a camera, claims is lying, and people run with it because TikTok is, quote, the voice of reason, for some reason. Provide evidence, not what someone else said. A poster claimed isn't even from Moscow, she stays in Michigan. Where's the proof of that claim? If you know this person is from Michigan, then we assume you know her name, age, city, marital status, almost everything, right? But none of this was provided, just that she's from Michigan. How would you know she's from Michigan though? Let me guess, someone told you, or you heard someone claim this. They told that person, who told that person, and they told that person, who told that person. That's not speculation, that's gossip. Listen.
People need to be careful believing people that won't show their face and using a fake name. With the University of Idaho case, there is somebody named who has come forward on many podcasts saying that they have seen things that no one else has reported. And they might have information that can free Brian Kohberger, the man accused of murdering 4 college students. They won't show their face, they won't say who they are, and they're using a fake name.
Now why would you want someone who had witnessed something to show their face? To give their real name? Who the hell do you think you are, to demand that person identify themselves to you? Would you want to be identified in a quadruple murder that you have vital information about? Oh, but you want someone else to identify. You know what, this has pissed me off. Can't stand these TikTok narcissists.
Yeah, this is how people so-called investigate nowadays, uploading 30-second clips about a murder investigation. Who does that? To demand someone to reveal themselves to you, that's unbelievable. You haven't solved anything, you're a true crime commentator. There is a difference, and people need to differentiate. You have true crime investigators, people who actually take the time to investigate, and then there's true crime commentators who just talk about a case. It's bonkers, right? If she was a real true crime investigator, she wouldn't ask to identify herself, because she would already know why she is staying anonymous. Why do you want to know her identity so bad? Do you want to know the identities of the private driver and the DoorDash driver? Oh, they don't matter, right? I want to hear more, because this person is a part of the problem in the true crime community.
People need to be careful believing people that won't show their face and using a fake name. With the University of Idaho case, there is somebody named Dot who has come forward on many podcasts saying that they have seen things that no one else has reported. And they might have information that can free Brian Koberger, the man accused of murdering 4 college students. But they won't show their face, they won't say who they are, and they're using a fake name. And they won't provide any proof or anything to this. Locals came forward in Idaho and they thought they knew who this person was. But then they noticed yesterday that they weren't pronouncing Moscow correctly.
Oh, so locals came forward? Yeah, right, so they came forward to discredit someone who claimed she witnessed something? Don't you find that odd? They won't come forward with any evidence or information themselves, but they can come forward to so-called debunk someone else who does? But this person doesn't have the integrity to even question aspects such as that. She's just another DC agent, that being a damage control agent. Let's continue.
And followers recognized the voice and the sobbing. This Dot messed up. They went live and showed their face. They fell asleep on live and showed their face. Dot has now been identified as Braden, a trans man who harassed someone called Not Your Bonnie and other people across TikTok and has trolled for a long time. Anyone with info, send it to me.
No confirmation this person is named Braden, or whatever. No confirmation because this person doesn't provide a screenshot or even a video of that live where Dot, quote, slipped up. And if Dot was careful to stay anonymous regarding the Idaho murders, why would she reveal her identity to the world about it? See, all lies, all gossip, spreading it all over, so when people listen to that interview again, they see her as a liar and a transgender, which somehow affects the credibility of her statements. Not sure how what she witnessed has anything to do with being transgender. Is this a form of bullying transgenders? Seems like it. That's something college students would do, and you have this grown woman echoing that. But it hasn't been confirmed anyway, yet it's something that adds to the narrative of her being deceptive. Projection, my friends. The deceivers always project things onto others.
Anyone with info, send it to me.
Anyone with info, send it to you? For what? So you can keep plastering unconfirmed crap about this person? What will you do with that info? Send it to a bunch of cowardly college students so they can harass Dot? Sounds about right. If locals came forward and noticed Dot didn't pronounce Moscow the right way, does this mean she didn't stay in that home? No, it doesn't.
Locals came forward in Idaho and they thought they knew who this person was. But then they noticed yesterday that they weren't pronouncing Moscow correctly.
She's a narcissistic bird brain. Followers of Dot somehow revealed that they are transgender? No offense, but they were following this alleged transgender prior. Apparently, all of a sudden, they are exposing them? The reason we're focusing on this DC agent is because it is this very person we assume created the narrative that Dot was a fraud. See, they know how to get the wheels turning, get on TikTok, yap about someone being a fraud, and it goes viral within the truth community. Then we use Dot's accounts in our investigation, yes, investigation, and posters claim our work has lost its credibility due to that?
Here is the airport security, and the beeper just went off. Now take out your wallet and your cell phone and your keys, all right? Oh, we got a security breach, coach. Security breach. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, look at that, a jugular vein. How about that? You need to knock it off, you're going to be a pirate.
The seed of deception was not planted by Dot, it was planted from others who don't want people to acknowledge what she said. And I believe it is a woman, but a bit older. Perhaps close to her 30s. She's, quote, been around the block a few times, who cares? She admits to smoking cigarettes, drinks alcohol, and perhaps even smokes marijuana. Her voice isn't gonna sound too prissy, it will have a raspy sound to it. I guess this annoys the prissies, what the hell? Have you noticed it's the older individuals speaking out? Dot, WSU Kim, and even Inan Harsh, all of these individuals who have publicly spoken out, are close to, or in their 30s. And the backlash is from a younger generation, and those older individuals, who should know better, who don't want the truth to come out. These same people, though, will run with what the media claims about Koberger, such as he stalked the girls, digital evidence shows he did this, he was spotted near the home 12 times prior, liked and followed the girls, and even downloaded a photo of Madison. And by the way, the so-called source of that, in my opinion, is a fake account, for those who would claim Koberger did follow Kaylee and Madison. It's easy to frame someone, ironically, download a photo of them and follow Kaylee and Madison. Bingo, Kohberger followed Kaylee and Madison. There are 2 profiles of Brian Kohberger, and the one that is following Kaylee and Madison has a photo similar to the photos used throughout the media. Someone simply created a fake account, followed Kaylee and Madison, and uploaded a video so-called proving he followed them, guess where? On freaking TikTok. No in-depth analysis of the profile, they didn't even click the profile to see what's inside, they just displayed the so-called people followed. Nice try, but not nice enough. If you discredit everyone who claims to have information regarding the murders, can you call yourself a true crime investigator? Scratch that, can you even associate yourself with any form of truth? No, because you deny the possibility that something is true, so truth can't come through the front door. You lock the door, because you don't want the truth to come in and come out. It would come out, with you analyzing what has been stated, using your freaking brain, and concluding that it is at least likely to be true. And you keep working on justifying that belief, to the point you find something that confirms it was true. Investigating 101, my friends. But, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yep, when the truth gets closer, the lies get even bigger. Briefly, I don't want people to lose focus of what Dot claimed, as it's the most important, possible, key piece of evidence. Dot claimed she saw Bonnie and Clyde, with Dylan outside the home. As mentioned, this was approximately around 8 a.m., according to Dot. Interesting, very interesting. Let's see. That's quite interesting. Dot claimed there were 3 males, and 2 females outside that morning, right? Wasn't it 3 male DNA samples discovered at the home? You bet your last dollar it was. Yet these DNA samples were not included in the investigation, because they weren't identified. So, let's just say it's these 3 males, with one of them being Clyde. Now, through voice analysis, we determined that a male heard in once again, so-called debunked audio, was a black male. Clyde is black. This is what we heard in that audio. A female states, quote, hold back her hair, unquote. Then a black male, this being Clyde, states, quote, for what? Unquote. Of course, that audio was quickly so-called debunked, even by the mainstream media. Now, the problem with this so-called debunking, you are suggesting that individuals are mocking the deaths of those housemates. And it would more than likely be a group of individuals from Moscow, right? Yet, it doesn't actually derail the obvious, that they were murdered. See, if someone would do such a thing, which would be heartless, they would attempt to change the perception of the murders, not confirm it. You understand? That audio came from, that's right, the neighbors with the security camera. And this is why they immediately executed damage control, because it proves that Kohberger wasn't the killer, as it was multiple people in that home. Listen how they try to brainwash the public.
The neighbors to my left here have a surveillance video camera that picked up audio from Xana Kernodle's room about 50 feet away, about 417, hearing the dog begin to bark, hearing a loud thud and what sounded like either whispers or whimpering at around 417 during the time of the murders. So,
Yep, never fails. The infamous stuttering stupor of news reporters. She knew it literally makes no sense for the security camera to hear whimpers and a thud noise, but not any screaming or yelling. And in connection to that, she also knew what she was about to address, being the so-called debunked audio of the attacks heard, are likely to have been detected as well. They tried to push the narrative that the housemates were murdered in their sleep. Nope, not gonna fly. Xana had defensive wounds, so we know for sure she was screaming and yelling. That's just one victim, which would be heard. What about Kaylee and Madison? If Kaylee's family claims she was, quote, trapped, then she was wide awake, trying to escape. If she was trapped, this means in that time frame, she is not being stabbed, so of course she was screaming. Okay, let's just keep going.
Circulating online are posts like the ones you see on the screen of this alleged audio of that surveillance video here. And so being on the ground, I spoke with the neighbors here. Paul's going to pan over here how close this home is, this blue home that we've seen next to the crime scene where that surveillance video would be. I caught the people living there walking out earlier, and they have debunked that audio. It is not the audio from that surveillance video. So I think that's important to clear up because those posts have gone so viral. But you can see behind me just how close that blue home where that surveillance video would be to Xana Kernodle's room, right up there on the second floor to be able to pick that up.
Close enough to Kernodle's bedroom, yet somehow a fighting Kernodle, who allegedly almost had her fingers severed, didn't scream. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the fucking world. If she grabbed the knife, or whatever sharp weapon, and her fucking fingers were almost severed, do they honestly think she didn't scream? Of course they know this, but through some type of magic pixie dust sprinkled onto the viewers, their brains are just collecting the information of what is being reported as facts.
Caught the people living there walking out earlier, and they have debunked that audio. It is not the audio from that surveillance.
Tell me you're not falling for that, are you? They won't admit to anything. They were even closer than Dot in the home a bit further away. So, if they claim it wasn't from their security camera, has anyone found who leaked the audio? Have they been charged with any crimes? Nope. Mind you, that audio sounds so close, it's like they're inside the home. I think the key to that audio being authentic is the black male's voice. This would mean, a black guy participated in fake audio, I guess to what, allude to it being Clyde? Come on, that's some wacky stuff right there, might as well just come out and say he was a part of the murders. Let's see, what has been so-called debunked, and what has been so-called confirmed. WSU Kim has been so-called debunked, Dot has been so-called debunked, the audio has been so-called debunked. Kohberger stalking the victims has been so-called confirmed, Kohberger following the victims on social media has been so-called confirmed, Kohberger driving in that neighborhood 12 times prior has been so-called confirmed. Kohberger's DNA found on a knife sheath has been so-called confirmed. What do conclude here? Avoid the evidence of there being multiple killers. You know why it's effective? Because Kohberger is deemed a creep who murdered those young, precious, beautiful college students. Oh yeah, he's a sick bastard, and should be executed by a firing squad for what he has done. They should cut his balls off, and make him suffer before they put him out of his misery. The hatred for this guy is through the roof, but I think we can all agree, they know the killers are still out there. So it's fake hatred, generating real hatred, by those who are emotionally provoked. Didn't Bonnie get arrested earlier this year? A few months after the murders? Didn't Bonnie and Clyde just have charges dropped, basically of involuntary manslaughter? Crimes and deaths around these two, but you don't hear those so-called TikTok true crime investigators putting the spotlight on them.
And followers recognized the voice and the sobbing. This Dot messed up. They went live and showed their face. They fell asleep on live and showed their face.
The cover-up has reached society, what a shame. You literally have damage control agents fighting to protect the truth. We just gave you evidence of it, now you know what to watch out for. Word of advice here, don't communicate with anyone through emails. You don't know who you're giving your information to. Tighten up, it's a jungle out here. We're done, that's enough. This is the Chaos Sector.